Well, we wanted to come on and talk about the great comeback and how the Phillies, there's no fight that they can't overcome. Then, of course, it was just a rough one for Alec Bohm. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we welcome you here to Phillies Postgame Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance, Amy Fiddle, Ruben Amaro Jr. And I know Bohm has played really well defensively, I thought, this year at third and first. It's a routine play, and it results in the error that had 3 runs. It was a rough inning all around. We can't go without saying Jose Alvarado, but that one's going to stick with him.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, that was a tough loss. And, it's always about making sure you make the plays you're supposed to make. And you said it, Amy. I mean, Alec Bohm has been playing great and flawless defense on both corners, first and third base. And Bobby Dickerson, the infield coach, he talks about doing one thing, securing the baseball first. He did not do that on that play and ended up being the backbreaker for the Phillies. Again, great comeback.
Yeah, but you saw him kind of go with the backhand. Does that have a play in it at all, or is that just routine for a guy like this?
No, I think that's the right play. I think that for me, I always talk about just catching the baseball. And actually, in that particular play, I know people talk about trying to front it up. That's a backhand play that every third baseman in baseball in the major leagues would make. And I know that Alec Bohm would probably make it 99 times out of 100. It was just one of those situations where he just did not secure the baseball, and there's nobody who feels worse about this play than Alec Bohm, I assure you that. And unfortunately, this is part of the game, especially kind of a backbreaker, obviously, when they work so hard to get back on top in this game. Really a flawless game for about 7 innings, and then things kind of fell apart, especially in the bullpen. I was a little disappointed. It's a concern for me that Alvarado was really struggling with throwing strikes. It seems to me like he is not quite back yet. He has the velocity, but not the life in the strike zone, and I don't like his pace right now as far as him being on the mound. When he's throwing the ball well, he's getting on the mound, he's firing. He had a little bit of time in between, kind of thinking about his pitches a little bit, and I think that got to him, and unfortunately couldn't get the job done tonight.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been in that situation if Alvarado hadn't already walked the bases loaded. Then they had to go with Hoffman in that case, who looked like he was going to get out of the inning. Let's check in now with Ben Davis, who joins us from Milwaukee. And Ben, we hate to belabor it, but that is a really rough go for Alec Bohm. All the fun, all the joy that we experienced in the top of the 8th, completely erased by that 3-run home run. But really, that 8th inning, the bottom of it really snowballed, starting with Jose Alvarado and then really culminating, of course, in the 3-run error by Alec Bohm.
Yeah, it was not ideal. Let's put it that way, Amy. And you hate to see the last 2 losses, really, to have the big home runs in the fashion they had on Wednesday with Harper's 300th, and then obviously today with Trey Turner off, one of the best closers in all of baseball. To have both games ended with an L, it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, and it just starts with filling up the strike zone. Alvarado, I agree with Ruben. Something's off with him right now. It's like he's working too hard. And he's as good as it gets when he's just free and easy. Here it is. You're not going to hit my 100, 102 with good life. He was overpowering his cutter tonight. When you're missing glove side, which so his would be into a righty, away to a lefty. When you're missing glove side like that with the cutter by that much, it means you're just yanking it too far. You're not out in front with that pitch and letting the pitch break just move as much as you think it should. He's just overthrown again, working too hard tonight, and you got to throw strikes. That's the bottom line, that you're coming out of that bullpen for one reason, to throw strikes, and unfortunately he was not able to do that. And then the Bohm error, it's a shame because he has worked so hard to get to be, in my opinion, above average fielder, major league fielder, both at third base and at first base. And to have a game end in that fashion with him just coming up on the baseball, it stinks because we all know he's a lot better than that. Unfortunately, it was a big time to make that error.
Ben, I was wondering, what kind of things would you do as a catcher, major league catcher, when you see Alvarado not with the same pace, kind of not falling off a little bit? What would you say to him if you got an opportunity to go out there and talk to him during the course of the inning?
Quédate arriba, bola, dame la ballita, vamos. That's what I would tell Jose. But I think it would be a good time maybe to go out there and just say, hey, dude, your stuff is good enough. You don't have to make it that much better. It's like, Ruben, we as golfers, we stripe one off the tee, we hit it, 325. The next one, we want to hit 425. Why? The 325 was good enough. So for Jose Alvarado, it's like, hey, man, you have this stuff. You don't have to make it any better. And I think that's what he was trying to do tonight, make it that much better when it just doesn't have to be that way.
325, just like I do, striping my driver
yes,
right
you
off
do.
the
I've
tee.
seen it.
We know you got that, Duel.
I've seen it. You got it.
That's a rocket right there. I do have to ask a little bit about Zach Wheeler. This is something we focused on. He's coming off a really good August. He had that one bad inning, but what did you see from him overall tonight, Ben?
Dominance. He literally made one bad pitch to Adames. The two singles before that were, obviously the ball in the hole that I'm sure Trey Turner will tell you I should have made that play. And then the 37 hopper that Santana had past Bryson Stott, that set up that 3-run homer. He hung one slider throughout the course of the game. He had 10 strikeouts, 0 walks. He was as dominant as we've seen. We thought he was good last time against the Cardinals. Well, he was every bit as good tonight against the Brewers. He was phenomenal. It almost looks like he's out there going, and then the ball just gets on you. It's just so free and easy. That's what really I think he's able to throw fastballs by guys, because it is that you're just thinking, there's no way this guy's not putting that much effort into it. How's the ball getting on me that fast? Some guys have that knack, that ability to do so.
Ben, a couple of great comebacks and then a couple of really tough losses at the same time. How's the psyche in that clubhouse right now? How do they bounce back?
Well, the one thing this ball club has going for them is the fact that they are very professional. They don't really have rear view mirrors, so they're always looking ahead. Having said that, the last two are kind of tough to swallow. I know the baseball, the best thing about it is the fact that you can get them tomorrow, and literally they can go get them tomorrow. And obviously having that game tomorrow, if they were going to have an off day tomorrow, that would really stink, because you got to wait around to go get them. But I think with this ball club, they are a very resilient bunch, and they don't take it to heart that much. They'll kind of put this behind them and move on tomorrow. Games like this, how many games have we seen them win when there's no way they should win games? Tonight was a game they should win, and unfortunately they lost it somehow.
Yes, that is the one thing, is that they get right back at it tomorrow and on Sunday. Hopefully they can bounce back after this little 2-game skid. Ben, thanks so much. We'll see you.
Thanks,
all right,
Ben.
guys. Enjoy your weekend.
You too, buddy. Let's check out the NL standings, brought to you by the Ciocca dealerships. And we're checking out the wild card. Phillies still 2.5 clear of the Cubs. You can see they're in that top spot. Diamondbacks, Reds actually won a pretty dramatic game tonight, still hanging on in there. But this is the good news, is that they are still where they want to be as far as the wild card goes. But you don't want to play any games around winning games that you're leading going in the bottom of the 8th. You should be able to close that one out.
Yeah, those are backbreakers, Amy, and you make sure that you're supposed to win the games that you should win. It's a little bit of a concern to see what's been going on in the bullpen. We talked about it a little bit in the open about the fact that these guys have been overworked a little bit, and in some cases, some guys underworked. I think Alvarado is a guy, for me, who needs more work. He needs to be out on the mound and throwing consistently, and part of it is because he had that elbow issue, so they're being careful with him. Same thing with Sir Anthony Dominguez. It was great to see Gregory Soto pitch as well as he did today. He's going to be huge for that bullpen down the stretch as well. But everybody's got to contribute. It can't just be Jeff Hoffman and Kimbrel, and it's got to be everybody because it's the bullpen has taken up a lot of innings during the course of the season, a major league season in this day and age, and you like to see everybody be sharp as they possibly can and win the games they're supposed to win late in the games. And the last two ball games have been tough for him.
Because this is one of he knows that it's on him at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, they know that's really a team effort, but yes, in this instance, that's a backhand play that I think that, as I said, 99 times out of 100, he's going to make that play. I know everybody on that field has been in that situation where you just haven't been able to come through when you're supposed to be coming through. It was a tough go for Alec Bohm. Really good pitch by Jeff Hoffman, and a great job by him, and that'll build his confidence even more, I think, and also Rob Thomson's confidence in him in those situations. But again, it's about those walks, and those dreaded walks at the end of the game, especially against a team that really does not swing the bats all that well. You just can't do that. And they've got to give Milwaukee some credit. They keep grinding things out, and they figure out ways to win baseball games.
Yeah, there's a reason they're leading the NL Central. You mentioned Rob Thomson. Let's check in with him now in Milwaukee.
Rob, what did you see when the Bohm hurt?
I think what he did was he just tried to run to the base before he secured the baseball and just scooted underneath his glove. But that guy's been playing extremely well at third base, and so it's just one of those things.
How do you make sure that, it doesn't affect his confidence and all the good work that he's really
I think he's matured enough now that he's beyond that. I really do. And he was upset, but I don't think it's going to carry over.
And what made you like that pocket there, I guess in the eighth for Alvarado?
Just going through Yelich was the main thing. But he just didn't throw many strikes tonight. Just couldn't find the strike zone. So
one messy inning for Wheeler, but other than that, pretty solid.
Yeah, he pitched great. Infield hit, rollover base hit through the 3-4 hole, and then he doesn't locate a slider, and Adames gets him for a home run. But I thought he was great.
Obviously, Turner's been on a bit of a roll. What's just been working for him these last few weeks to get that big hit against Williams?
Well, I think he's got a lot of confidence right now, and he's backing the ball up. He's using the field. He's not chasing as much. I just think he's on a roll right now. He's in one of those grooves.
Alvarado's such a big part of the bullpen. How important, given the time he missed, and Sir Anthony too, how important is it to get those guys sort of locked in here?
Extremely, yeah, extremely. And I have the confidence they will, both of them. We'll see how Alvy is tomorrow. I'm hoping he's going to be available again.